Casemiro, we've spoken about him previously, the impact he's had at Manchester United. But one thing we do know about Casemiro is that he is a dirty, dirty bastard. And for years at Real Madrid, he has gotten away with all sorts of terrible fouls. And even a few weeks ago, when he got suspended for the Arsenal game, that was a straight red tackle. Like, he got a yellow card in the Crystal Palace game. I was at Selhurst Park on the night, and everyone's having a meltdown. And, he's going to miss the Arsenal game. He should have missed the Arsenal game and 2 after that, with that terrible knee-high, studs-up tackle on Wilf Zaha, if memory serves. He then gets his first red card in English football for trying to strangle poor Will Hughes. God bless him. And then this weekend, he does a bad tackle. I forget the Southampton player. Was it Alcaraz, I think? And he does bounce off the top of the ball. But again, I always think this with red card conversations. It doesn't matter if he touches the ball. It's about the brutality in the tackle. Is it reckless? Does it endanger the opponent? Those sorts of things. The touching of the ball and getting the ball first is for the birds. It's nothing. It's not in the rules. It doesn't matter. In this particular incident, that is a challenge that endangers the opponent. It was a clear red card decision, and I think they got the right decision in the end. But then we have the tears, and we have the kind of like, it was almost like you just found out you didn't get first chair violinist in the school orchestra. You know, it was like Lisa Simpson finding out there was someone else better at saxophone than her. Like, it was weird. And they're all hugging him, and it's like, yes, Casemiro, this is consequence. These are the consequences you should have been experiencing for most of your career, but you've been getting away with it for reasons that are inexplicable to us. But it used to, I suppose you could say Fernandinho is a similar sort of guy for Man City and got away with this sort of crap for years and didn't.
Busquets, yeah.
But suddenly, Dunny, Casemiro is not getting away with it. He's not handling it very well. And Casemiro now will have been suspended for 8 Premier League games this season for bookings and for now 2 red cards. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I think he's trying to lift the shorts of all the players around him. I think he is, as we've seen, I think such a fantastic addition to Manchester United and to this midfield, even though it took him probably 4 or 5 good games to work himself into the Casemiro that we thought, because I can remember when I had Twitter tweeting something about like, what happened to Casemiro? Because that's not the Real Madrid Casemiro that we saw. But I think as much as, you know, we've talked about Bruno and the hands and the throwing himself and all that, I think what Casemiro has done is he's been kind of that inspirational kind of guy that everyone can look to and be like, yo, we got Casemiro. Like, we got Casemiro. We're good. We're straight. Like, we're okay. Everything's gonna be like, he looks at you and you're like, oh yeah, I got to run a little bit more because that's Casemiro. I think it's that type of feel. Now,
he's let him down now, though, big time.
Well,
massively.
no, he's let him down on a couple of occasions. Now, the yellow cards, I'm okay with yellow cards, especially in that position. I know that my defensive midfielders, the team that I'm going to root for, it doesn't matter what team, that guys are going to, it's just the nature of the position. It's the nature of counterattacking football. It's the nature of professional fouls, tactical fouls, whatever you want to call it. That is the position that it's going to happen. Same with outside backs. It's breakup plays. We saw it in that game in particular when the ball, I think it was Casemiro gave the ball away, and it was Lisandro Martinez had to pick up the yellow in that game because he didn't want, he got caught in between just inside of his own half. So those type of things happen. You can't excuse the hands to the neck on Will Hughes. He knew it. As soon as it happened, he was done. Will Hughes was kind of laughing about it the entire time. Like, he had a huge smile.
And other players, we should say, have put their hands in a similar position this season and got away with it.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to kind of this gray area, and we saw it a lot this weekend, the intervention of VAR and what is a clear and obvious mistake, and what are the bullet points that have to be, or the boxes that have to be checked for VAR to intervene. In the run of play, it was judged as a yellow card. Is it a red card? Absolutely. I've said this since I was a kid. I remember one of my coaches said it to me. The moment that you turn your stud sideways and you can see the bottom of your studs, and if there's, number one, if your studs are off the ground, you've allowed the referee to make a decision. If you've pushed through and your studs are off the ground, you've allowed the referee to make a very easy decision. Even if you win the ball, and it's a different game for us growing up, Tom, those type of tackles, a strong challenge. the John Terry type tackle. You win the ball, you go through the player, you nick him, you do whatever. Like, yeah, I stuck him, but I won the ball. It's okay. The game's different now. So VAR intervention, yes, absolutely correct to tell the referee, I think you need to have a look at this. I'm going to suggest you look at the monitor for serious foul play. It is serious foul play. He's come through. He's raised the league. He's caught him. Yes, he's won the ball. That doesn't matter in 2023. So, okay, we get through all of that. I think he's an emotional guy. I really do. And I think he realized, to your point, and by the way, it's Brighton away, Newcastle away, Everton home, the games he's going to miss. I think that's correct. But I'm a knucklehead. I'm not sure.
And he misses the FA Cup quarterfinal this weekend as well. So it's 4.
Yep,
one in the cup
against Fulham. Yep, and against Fulham. So I think he realized it's another 3 weeks on top of international duty that we got to go away, that I'm not going to be available. He's effectively going to be out for almost a month when it's all said and done, in a run-up of games that are incredibly important for Manchester United to maintain their top 4 finish. So yeah, I think the emotion of breaking down is the recognition of heat of the moment, red mist, could have won the ball, but I showed my studs, got caught with my hands in the cookie jar. And now it's, I think by the players coming over to him, it's like, we got you. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. They're trying to make him feel better. But you could tell he was devastated because rightly so, he was sent off.
Well, rightly or wrongly, there is a target on Casemiro, and it does happen with players. There are certain reputations of certain players where they're more likely to be carded than otherwise. It used to happen with Andy Carroll all the time. I know he used to swing the elbow around a lot, but also it wasn't always as bad as what other players had done. I always used to kind of note that.
He did do Christian Eriksen. He did do.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. He didn't get a yellow for that.
No, he didn't get anything.
No, nothing. No. But it used to happen. I mean, there's players. It's been like this, right? You're going to get a yellow, whatever happens. You're not going to be given the benefit of the doubt. I think about kind of Mitrovic these days. So I think he's in that category. Whereas for Real Madrid, he certainly was allowed to get away with a lot, and certainly in the Champions League, it's not going to happen now. Depending, I mean, that's why Erik ten Hag does all that. Looking like a budget detective from a Scandinavian drama in his roll neck. I think maybe that there is a possibility here that something wider is going on. Manipulating us. So next time when Casemiro's back in May, he might get a little decision going his way.